Okay, go.
What kind of media institution might distribute your media product and why? A media institution is a large profit-based company, this meaning it basically exists to make money. I have chosen Pure Magazine as it is one of Europe's largest privately owned publishing groups. It publishes a range of magazines, one of these being the UK's biggest music monthly magazine, Q.
Okay. Is that similar to your magazine?
Yes, it's a similar genre.
Okay.
Pure Magazine already successfully publishes music magazines similar to My Music Magazine. The large company already has a strong distribution method that I could follow. The similar magazine Q means our audience is already the same, and I am guaranteed to share the similarities. I have gathered a range of images which show facts. Over 96% of tablet owners still use and read paperback magazines. 44% would consider changing retailer if they couldn't find their favourite magazines. Therefore, it is important that my magazine is distributed largely and distributed to a wide range of shops and networking sites.
Is that the print version of your magazine?
For networking sites, it would be online versions and shops print.
And what kind of shops would you send magazines
like
to?
Asda, Tesco, local shops.
Okay.
82% of consumers have said magazines are a very useful source of idea about what they should buy. By using statistics like this, it would help me in the future when deciding on advertisements. I plan for my magazine to be distributed in a range of different ways and places, such as major supermarkets, such as Asda, and also local shops. I want to produce an online version as it's easy to access, and 13% of people read magazines online, and 81% printed copies. Technology is changing. Also, radio station and podcast. This is similar to Kerrang.
Why have you decided to go for this sort of multi-platform approach?
As it'll bring in a more audience, more money, improve the magazine.
Okay.
This supports the fact on the online readers and that reading on tablets has doubled over the year, and in over 4 weeks adults have visited magazines, and it's going to double, so therefore content's more important. In 2009, 900 million magazines subscriptions were made. Millions of magazines were sold weekly, and 10,000 magazines were sold a minute. 91% of these were 15 to 24-year-olds. My targeted audience range between the age of 16 to mid-30s, which is still relatively young. Rewards would go to reliable customers, and if they were to subscribe, they would have discounts and freebies. It would be available to technology users and accessible, and you'll be able to open it up on online social networking sites, which is Facebook or Twitter.
Why do you want to reward people?
If I reward people, then it's just like they bring more people in.
Great.
Who would be the audience for your media product? I have chosen mainstreamers, as they like following trends and such as the latest music or the UK Top 40. They also like security a lot, and a and people between my age range will also feel the same. Mainstreamers make up 40% of the population, which is a large amount. In today's society, not many people want to be different. They like to follow the trends. This is similar to me, therefore it's easier for me to relate my magazine around this. I will also show other elements of young and Rubicans audience types throughout my magazine, such as aspirers. As they like big labels, this is things I'll include, and also reformers, as they like values and views, which would link to my main article. Why? I have chosen to choose mainstreamers as it's easy for me to relate to. They like security like a lot of my target age range do. It takes up a large percent of the population, and also when using my questionnaire on SurveyMonkey, it showed me that a lot of my audience were mainstreamers. Social economic groups. I have chosen to aim my magazine at all of the levels of the social economic group, as my age range is aimed between people of the age of 16 to mid-30s. Some will still be at school and therefore don't have the money to buy a magazine, so have to go to mum and dad, or the higher end of my age range, they tend to be in a full-time job and therefore do have the money to buy a magazine. This kind of links to myself, as when I'm at college I don't have a lot of money, when in the school holidays I have a job and can buy more things. Why? Age range is relatively low and 16-year-olds are just leaving education and have little money. Suits me, so it's an easy thing to discuss. My SurveyMonkey showed a range of different people, mainly middle class, but it was easier to go in between all. Wouldn't limit my contents as much, as I refer back to my college magazine, which did.
So because your college magazine had a small audience, did you feel like
it was harder to find things what to include, whereas with this one I could aim it at myself, and as I didn't have a social economic grade, I could aim it at all levels, so I wouldn't have to worry about like putting the clothes and stuff at a certain price. It could be low price, it could be high price.
Right, so it gave you more options.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
My reason for this, I like to follow the trends myself. I like to keep up to date with the latest music. It's easy for me to discuss, so I can make it more fun. It shows all levels of social grades to fit my age range. I kind of got my age range from a previous magazine I saw, a copy of them, where it showed a young person and an older person. So it kind of varied my age range, so I had to link, as it linked to my cover. My audience, both males and females, majority of young and Rubicans audience types, but mainly mainstreamers, and age range between 16 to mid-30s. What have you learnt about technologies from the process of constructing this production? In design, it was a new experience to me, which I found difficult at first. It enabled me to produce professional print work. I was able to use a range of different and creative fonts, using layers and using a range of creative tools.
What did you find easiest and hardest about Photoshop? In design,
probably the fact that the margins, I couldn't quite get my head around seeing all the margins on the page, but I changed it after so you couldn't see them. And the easiest thing was probably uploading a picture to it. I used Photoshop to create my front cover. It allowed me to edit images, to use specific tools to create good effects, such as the Magic Wand tool. I was able to use a range of different fonts. PowerPoint, this was something that I tend to use a lot of the time. Just helped me produce my research tasks, my production tasks and my evaluation. And Microsoft Word helped me to use spell check, stopped me from uploading any work which contained errors. And SurveyMonkey helped me to ask a range of questions to people worldwide which would be analysed. It analysed and reviewed and would help me with my contents. And with WordPress, it learnt me how to use an online blog to store information and to present my work. I learnt how to embed information such as PowerPoints.
Great.
Things I found tricky and easy. I found applying a background in InDesign quite tricky, as when trying to write over it, the text boxes kept going underneath. To begin with, I found using InDesign tricky with the margin lines and trying to find how to change the colour of texts. I also found importing files such as text from the font onto Photoshop, as the background came up white and you'd have to change it in a different program first. I found when using the quick selection tool, it was difficult to avoid cutting off vital parts of the image, and coming to terms with the fact that everything had its own layer, and that you can when you click on the layer you can't click on anything else.
So how did you overcome those difficulties?
Over time, some with help of others. On Photoshop I learnt that there was a minus paintbrush thing where you could go back over and the vital part would be back.
Great.
And the things I found easy were creating shapes and changing the transparency. Easy to find a range of different colours and font styles on Photoshop. Coming up with ideas as my questionnaire helped me. Easy to update my blog and upload vital work, and to take pictures and to place pictures into my work. Good technology is important to this industry in a numerous of ways. Competition. People with poor software work wouldn't be as good as those with the latest technology. Their product would be hard to sell. It enables things to be forever changing and therefore it tends to appeal to people more, as everybody likes something new. Without good technology, magazines would be boring and more than likely contain numerous forms of incorrect grammar. We won't be able to apply videos and show our audience what we can achieve if we weren't able to apply these things. It helps us to achieve our full potential. Without that, magazines wouldn't sell. Tips and guides. Always back your work and save every so often. When taking work home to complete, make sure it's compatible with your computer. Watching YouTube videos is a good way, like when wanting to upload a media file into PowerPoint. Take a range of photos and not just a few, and make sure you plan ahead. Make sure you don't leave everything for lessons, and ask for others' views and opinions, as they can help to improve your magazine.
Great, thank you very much.